The Boy Who Ran Home After Jesus Used His Lunch. Stories by Anna. And Inner Fire Motivation TV. Welcome to where faith, courage, and truth come alive through story. Before we begin, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe so more hearts can be encouraged. Tonight's story is about a little boy, a small lunch, and a miracle he never forgot. The boy almost didn't go that day. The crowd was too big, the roads were dusty, and his mother had already called him back twice that morning. "Stay close to your cousins," she warned as she wrapped bread in a small cloth. Then she placed 2 tiny fish beside the loaves and tied the bundle carefully. It wasn't much, just enough for one hungry little boy. "Don't lose it," she said with a smile. The boy nodded quickly, but secretly he was excited, because everyone in town was talking about Jesus. Some said he healed sick people. Some said he touched blind eyes. Others whispered that storms obeyed him. The boy didn't know what to believe, but he wanted to see for himself. So off he ran, down the hills, past crowded roads, toward the sound of thousands of voices gathering near the hillside. And when he arrived, his eyes widened. People were everywhere. Families sat together on the grass. Children climbed rocks to see better. Men shaded their eyes from the sun. And there, standing in the distance, was Jesus. The boy moved closer. He listened carefully. Jesus spoke differently than anyone he had ever heard. His words felt warm, strong, peaceful somehow. The boy forgot about the heat, forgot about the time, forgot even about his lunch. Hours passed. The sun slowly moved lower in the sky. And then something began to happen. People were getting hungry. Very hungry. The disciples looked worried. The crowd was enormous. How could anyone feed this many people? The boy watched the men talking quietly among themselves. One of them shook his head. "There isn't enough food here," he said. Another looked overwhelmed. Even if they had money, where would they find enough bread? The little boy looked down at the cloth bundle in his hands. 5 loaves, 2 fish. It suddenly felt very small, very unimportant. What difference could his tiny lunch make among thousands? Then one of the disciples noticed him. "What do you have there?" he asked kindly. The boy froze. For a moment he almost pulled the lunch away. It was all he had. His mother packed it for him. But then, the boy looked at Jesus, and something inside him said, "Give it." Slowly he handed over the small bundle. 5 loaves, 2 fish. That was all. But it was enough to place in Jesus' hands. Jesus took the bread, and he smiled. Then he looked up toward heaven and gave thanks. The crowd became quiet. The boy leaned forward. What was going to happen? Then the disciples began passing out bread, and more. Fish too. Everyone was eating. The boy blinked in disbelief. People kept receiving food, but it never seemed to run out. Thousands of people ate that day. Mothers, fathers, children, old men, young girls, everyone. And somehow, there was still food left over. Basket after basket. Full. The little boy stood there speechless. His tiny lunch had become part of a miracle. Jesus had used his lunch. As the crowd slowly began leaving, the boy grabbed the empty cloth and ran all the way home. His feet dust behind him. His heart raced with excitement. "Mom!" he shouted before he even reached the door. "Mom!" His mother stepped outside quickly. "What happened?" she asked. The boy could catch his breath. His eyes were shining. "Jesus used my lunch." At first she didn't understand. But the words came rushing out. The bread kept multiplying. And the fish too. Everybody ate. Thousands of people. The boy stretched out his arms as wide as he could. There were baskets left over, Mom. For a moment his mother simply stared at him. Then slowly she smiled, not because her son had lost his lunch, but because he had learned something far more important. Even the smallest thing can become something great when placed in God's hands. Message for children. Sometimes what you have may seem small. A small gift, a small talent, a small act of kindness. But God can use small things in big ways, just like that little boy's lunch. If this story touched your heart, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more inspiring Bible stories. And remember, Nothing is too small for God to use. This is Stories by Anna and Inner Fire Motivation TV, where faith keeps the fire burning.